Two suits carry the same American name on the label. One is built by hand in a factory that has been operating since 1899. Full canvas, American wool, American labor. The other is fused in a factory overseas. Machine assembled, shipped with the same logo. We ranked 10 American suit brands. 5 are charging you for a name that no longer matches the construction. 5 are still building suits the way your father's tailor did. Several of these were requested directly by you in the comments. Starting with a brand whose horse logo costs more than the construction behind it. Ralph Lauren operates multiple tiers under one name. Purple label at the top. Hand finished in Italy. Full canvas, genuine luxury construction. Then below it, the main polo line. Suits priced at $1,200 to $1,800. And this is where the confusion becomes a business strategy. A polo Ralph Lauren suit at $1,500 uses fused construction. The interlining is glued to the outer fabric, not stitched, not floating, glued. Manufacturing for the main polo line runs through factories in China, Vietnam, and Indonesia. The materials are standard. The assembly is machine-driven. The construction is indistinguishable from suits sold at 1/3 of the price, but the name on the label is Ralph Lauren, and that name carries 7 decades of carefully built aspiration. The horse logo on the breast pocket is not a quality indicator, it is a toll. It charges admission to a brand image that the polo suit's construction does not support. Purple label earns its price. The main polo line borrows Purple label's reputation and charges accordingly. 2 products, 1 name, opposite construction. That is not a brand. That is a pricing strategy built on the assumption that you will not check what is inside the jacket. A word on construction, because this comes up with every brand on this list. A suit jacket has 3 ways to hold its shape: full canvas, half canvas, fused. Full canvas means a layer of horsehair, and wool canvas is stitched into the chest and lapels. It floats between the outer fabric and the lining. It molds to your body over years of wear. This is the standard American tailoring was built on. Half canvas uses the same approach, but only through the chest and lapel. The bottom half of the jacket uses fusing, a compromise between cost and quality, acceptable at the right price. Fused means no canvas at all. An adhesive layer is bonded to the outer fabric with heat. The jacket holds its shape through glue, not through construction. Over time, that glue fails. The front of the jacket bubbles and separates from the lining. The suit is finished. There is no repair. Here is how you check it yourself. Pinch the front of a jacket just below the chest pocket. Pull the outer fabric and the lining in opposite directions. If you feel a 3rd layer floating between them, that is canvas. If the 2 layers feel bonded together, it is fused. 1 test, 10 seconds. It separates a suit built to last 20 years from a suit built to last 3. Brooks Brothers, founded 1818, the oldest clothing retailer in American history. It dressed Abraham Lincoln. It dressed John F. Kennedy. It dressed over 40 United States presidents. For nearly 2 centuries, the name meant something specific: American tailoring, canvassed construction, institutional trust. In 2020, Brooks Brothers filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Authentic Brands Group and Spark Group acquired the company for $325 million. Authentic Brands Group is a licensing conglomerate. Its business model is buying heritage names and extracting value through licensing deals. Acquire the name, extract the value, let the product follow. Brooks Brothers was not resurrected, it was absorbed. The 1818 line still carries prices of $800 to $1,500. But the hands that built it are no longer the same. Most manufacturing has moved overseas under the new ownership. The label says Brooks Brothers. The construction no longer says 1818. This is not a brand that got worse because of bad taste or poor design. This is a brand that was purchased by a company whose entire model is monetizing the name without maintaining what the name once meant. For every man over 50 who remembers what a Brooks Brothers suit felt like in 1985, the current product is not a continuation. It is a reminder of what was sold off. Tom Ford, born in Austin, Texas, one of the most recognized names in American fashion. But a Tom Ford suit is not an American suit. It is an Italian suit with an American designer's name on the label. Production runs through the Zegna Group's factories in Italy. Zegna acquired Tom Ford's fashion business and handles manufacturing. The same Italian facilities that produce Zegna's own suits under the Zegna label also produce Tom Ford. The difference is the name and the price. A Zegna ready-to-wear suit retails for $2,200 to $4,500. A Tom Ford suit retails for $3,500 to $6,500. Similar factories, similar construction methods, similar Italian wool, but a $2,000 or more premium layered on top for a designer label. Tom Ford is a designer, not a tailor. He creates the silhouette, the aesthetic, the brand world. The construction comes from someone else's factory. At $5,000, you are not paying for 165 steps of hand construction in an American workshop. You are paying for an aesthetic vision manufactured by a third party. That distinction matters when the price reaches 5 figures. If you believe the construction of a suit matters more than the label inside it, subscribe. We research every brand so you can spend with confidence. Thom Browne, another American designer, famous for the shrunken silhouette, cropped trousers that sit above the ankle, 4-button sleeves, narrow shoulders, a specific look that signals a specific culture. Primarily the technology and creative industries of 2012 to 2018. Zegna Group acquired an 85% stake in Thom Browne in 2018 at a $500 million valuation. By 2024, that stake had risen to 92%. Manufacturing runs through Zegna's European facilities. The production is Italian. The ownership is Italian. The only American element remaining is the designer's name and his New York office. Suits retail for $2,500 to $5,000 for a silhouette that was designed to challenge traditional tailoring conventions, not extend them. If you are a man over 40 looking for a suit that fits the way a suit should fit, clean shoulders, proper trouser break, classic lapel proportions, Thom Browne is not designing for you. It is designing against you, and it is charging you $4,000 for the privilege. The proportions are a style choice, but the price is not. A Zegna Group suit at $4,000 is expected. A Zegna Group suit with an American designer's name and shrunken styling at the same price is the same suit, repackaged for a cultural moment that has already passed. Paul Stuart, founded in 1938, Madison Avenue, New York. For decades it was the quiet, confident alternative to Brooks Brothers. Less institutional, more refined, the shop where men who knew tailoring bought tailoring. For men who came of age in the 70s and 80s, Paul Stuart was the tailor you graduated to. It was where you bought your first serious suit after your first real promotion. The store on Madison carried a weight that few retailers ever earned. In 2012, Mitsui, a Japanese conglomerate, acquired Paul Stuart. Manufacturing shifted. Some production now runs through Asian factories, including a Thai facility operated by a Japanese licensee. Suits retail at $2,595 and above. The Madison Avenue flagship still stands. The fitting rooms still feel the same, but the garment you carry out is not the garment Paul Stuart built its name on. The price reflects the address, the heritage, the wood-paneled fitting rooms. What it no longer reflects, consistently, is American construction, or the kind of tailoring that once made Paul Stuart worth the walk up Madison Avenue, another name whose reputation outlived the product behind it. Those are 5 American brands charging for names that the construction no longer supports. Fused suits at canvassed prices, Italian manufacturing behind American labels, heritage sold to conglomerates and licensing firms. But this is not the whole story. 5 brands are still doing what the others stopped. American hands, canvassed construction, prices that reflect the labor inside the jacket, not the logo on the label. Oxford Clothes, Chicago, founded in 1916, and still the highest standard of American suit making in continuous production. Every Oxford jacket goes through 165 individual steps, over 2,950 hand stitches in the jacket alone. The canvas is hand-padded, the lapels are shaped by hand, the sleeves are set by hand, the buttonholes are hand-sewn. Every pattern is individually cut. If you order a plaid or a stripe, the fabric is hand-matched at every seam, so the pattern flows unbroken across the chest, the lapels, and the pockets. This is the last American factory performing this level of handwork on a production suit. Clark Gable wore Oxford. Joe DiMaggio wore Oxford. The level of construction has not changed since 1916. The same factory, the same methods. Over a century of unbroken continuity. Ready to wear starts around $5,000. Custom runs to $8,000 and above. At $5,000, you are paying for the same price as a Tom Ford. But the Tom Ford is machine-assembled in Italy by a company that puts its own name on similar suits for $2,000 less. The Oxford is hand-built in Chicago with more hand stitches per jacket than most brands put in an entire suit. Same price, opposite product. That comparison is the entire thesis of this video. Hickey Freeman, founded 1899, Rochester, New York. For over a century, the name meant one thing: full canvas suits, made in America, the suit your grandfather saved for, the suit your father wore to his first real job. In 2013, Samuelsohn acquired Hickey Freeman's factory and tailored clothing assets. For the next decade, the Rochester factory operated under Samuelsohn's stewardship: Canadian ownership, American labor, full canvas construction. The suits were still built by the same craftspeople in the same building on North Clinton Avenue. Then in 2023, Authentic Brands Group moved the Hickey Freeman name to Peerless Clothing. Production shifted to Mexico. The price dropped to $595 to $795. The construction changed. The Rochester factory lost the Hickey Freeman contract, but the story does not end there. Tom James Company purchased the Rochester facility. The craftspeople stayed, the equipment stayed, the full canvas construction stayed. The factory renamed itself Rochester Tailored Clothing. The brand name was stripped away, but the hands remained. If you want the suit that Hickey Freeman used to represent, full canvas, American-made, Rochester craftsmanship, it still exists, under a different name, in the same building. RTC through Tom James is where the real Hickey Freeman lives now. The label changed, the quality did not. Samuelsohn. This one came up in your comments more than any other name on this list. Montreal, founded in 1923. And this brand connects directly to the story you just heard. For a decade, from 2013 to 2023, Samuelsohn owned the Hickey Freeman factory and license. The suits that carried the Hickey Freeman label during those years were produced under Samuelsohn's direction. Canadian management, American factory, the same Rochester hands. When Authentic Brands Group pulled the license in 2023, that connection was severed. But Samuelsohn's own line continues. Over 300 skilled artisans in their Montreal factory, full canvas and half canvas construction, Italian horsehair canvas, hand-sewn collars, over 70,000 units shipped annually. Suits retail for $1,500 to $3,000. At that price point, every dollar goes into construction, not licensing fees or conglomerate overhead. Samuelsohn has no celebrity ambassador, no global advertising campaign. The brand grows through the retailers and tailors who carry it and the men who wear it. If you ever wore a Hickey Freeman suit between 2013 and 2023 and thought it was one of the finest American suits you owned, you were wearing Samuelsohn's work. You just did not know it. Now you do. Hart Schaffner Marx. Chicago, founded 1887, one of the original names in American tailoring, and one that requires a careful distinction. The standard Hart Schaffner Marx line is now licensed through Peerless Clothing, Fused Construction, manufactured offshore. The name is the same, the product is not. If you see HSM at a department store for $400 to $600, that is the licensed version. It does not carry the construction that built the brand's reputation. The Gold Trumpeter line is different, half canvas construction, made in the United States, priced at $1,200 to $2,000. The canvas extends through the chest and lapels, giving the jacket structure that molds to your body. It is not full canvas, but at this price, half canvas with American manufacturing is a legitimate value proposition. The distinction between these two lines is the most important thing to understand about HSM today. One carries the heritage, the other carries only the name. When shopping Hart Schaffner Marx, look for the Gold Trumpeter label specifically. That is where the real construction lives. Joseph Abboud, New Bedford, Massachusetts. The largest tailored clothing factory still operating in the United States. Over 400 American workers. Over 250 crafting steps per jacket, producing roughly 50,000 suits per year. This factory has been running since 1987. It produces the Joseph Abboud American Bespoke line, individually cut, domestically sewn, using Italian fabrics processed through American hands. The operation is owned by Tailored Brands, which also operates Men's Warehouse. And here is the critical distinction. Joseph Abboud suits sold under the Tailored and Bespoke labels at the New Bedford factory are a different product from the mass-market Joseph Abboud suits on the Men's Warehouse floor. Same name, different factory, different construction, different price. If you are buying Joseph Abboud, verify that it comes from New Bedford. That is the line that earns its place on this list. At $600 to $1,400 for American-made tailored suits with genuine construction, the New Bedford factory represents one of the strongest value propositions in domestic suiting. 400 Americans, one factory, 250,000 stitches per year, keeping the craft alive. 10 American suit brands. 5 sold the name and kept the price. 5 kept the construction and earned it. The difference between the two halves of this list is not complicated. It is one question: who made the suit? Not who designed it, not who licensed it, not whose logo is inside the collar, who cut the fabric, who stitched the canvas, who pressed the lapels, whose hands were the last to touch it before it reached yours. That question is worth asking every time you spend $1,000 or more on a jacket, because the answer separates a suit from a label. And the men on the worth it side of this list have been answering that question the same way for over 100 years. American hands, canvassed construction, built to last. The industry spent the last decade selling heritage names to conglomerates, moving factories offshore, putting American labels on offshore construction, and counting on nostalgia to cover the difference. That math does not work for the men who wear these suits. It should not work for you either. Next week, we are doing the same breakdown on luxury shoe brands. Same pattern, same names charging for reputations they no longer build. Same question worth asking before you spend another $1,000. If you own any of these suit brands, good or bad, drop the year and the model in the comments. Help the next man avoid a $2,000 mistake. Subscribe if you want more. And if you missed our full breakdown on the 8 suit brands to never buy, it is linked below. Over 67,000 men have watched that one already. We will see you in the next one.